swallowed by piles of plastic. With over 13 million inhabitants, the capital Manila produces more than 9,000 tons of waste every single day. And it all starts at the market. Paper bags or cloth bags are nowhere to be seen. In a country where 18% of the population lives below the poverty line, it's more affordable to buy smaller quantities.
This one is 10 pesos po. 50, 40 pesos.
Filipinos like things that are cheap. They don't have money to buy in bulk like in the West. They need to save money.
We buy a lot of fresh food. If we use paper packaging, it will tear apart. But you can use plastic as long as you discard it in the right trash can.
The Pasig River, flowing right through the heart of Manila, is one of the most plastic polluted rivers in the world. It's now turned into an open dump yard. Every typhoon season, it floods the homes along its banks as the garbage clogs the drainage system. Michael Dose, the head of this pumping station in southern Manila, had to find new ways to deal with this menace. He now has to collect the river's trash.
Pero dito, tingnan mo to. Nagkaklag yung mga basura. Oh, grabe palang basura, no? Oh. That's
the garbage thrown by the residents living along the waterway. Almost 30% of our trash is plastic. If we don't remove it, it will go into Manila Bay.
The plant needs to double its capacity to be able to clean up all the waste.
As you can see,
What we collect is sent by local government and then thrown into the landfill. During the rainy season, we operate every day, filling up to 8 trucks in maybe 2 or 3 days. Plastic waste increases every year. If the government doesn't do anything, Manila will float on garbage.
basura.
Over the past 2 years, the government has launched a record-breaking cleanup drive with over 1 million tons of garbage removed from the river. But it's not enough to stop the trash from reaching the sea. This 200-kilometer Manila Bay is now completely defaced. Hundreds of bags of trash have been piling up on the beach for the past 2 months. Locals blame the municipality for not sending trucks to collect the garbage regularly. The rag pickers are the ones collecting the trash with their bare hands. Zero waste activist Joe works with rag pickers, the last barrier keeping the plastic out of the sea. Every day, each one of them collects around 20 kilos of plastic.
Once the garbage is wet, it cannot be sold. It's already become hard to segregate because it's contaminated and can bring all types of dangers to the health of villagers, all types of sickness, leptospirosis, typhoid.
It's painful to see that. It's so dirty. People used to swim here.
Far from the big cities, the fight against plastic is picking up. On the island of Minda now, this brigade of women volunteers visits villages to combat one of the factors contributing to pollution, the lack of awareness.
Good afternoon. I'm here to check how you sort out your trash. We will separate the plastic, put it in another bag. Very good.
But it's the kitchen where the plastic is used the most.
This dish soap is wrapped in plastic. You'll end up buying quite a few because the packaging is small. Then it'll be thrown away. People can hold on to the plastic packaging, storing it away until it can be collected and sent back to the company that made it, to be reused for new items.
The organization promotes the use of sustainable bags, garbage sorting and composting among poor communities that depend on fishing or agriculture for their livelihood and are among the first victims of climate change.
It's not easy to change people's minds because their #1 priority is work and making ends meet.
I will teach my grandchildren that they should throw cans in one bag and vegetables in another.
Educating the next generation is a gigantic task. Just a few kilometers away, a team of young scientists is training to measure microplastic levels in the ocean that come from the decomposition or production of plastic. These microscopic particles could be up to several thousand per cubic meter. As a result, they badly damage marine life.
You can't just readily see it. you need to process it, and that's where most of the work actually comes in.
Oceanographer Dr. Deo Onda has designed a sampling chart to measure microplastic in sediments.
The beach is very dynamic. Once the waves actually disturb the surface, the 5 centimeters is also the depth where most of the microplastics will get deposited.
Back in the lab, the results are clear. Water, sand, and seashell, all of them contain microplastics.
Pero ito,
Water sample.
can you identify it, where it came from?
Sa mong na-observe lang una sir kay green siya og 5.
Damit.
Size na mga textile.
The microplastics eaten by the smaller ones, when they are eaten by the bigger ones, it will be passed on to them. Those large organisms or large fish will be caught by a fisherman. Even if we don't see them, nature has a way of actually putting those microplastics back into our plate.
For now, there is no technology to clean microplastic from the seas and oceans. According to estimates by the European Parliament, there will be more plastic than fish in the oceans by 2050.